Dear listeners of the Female Guides Requested podcast, happy Wednesday. This is your host, Ting Ting. In this episode, I have guest Angel Robeldo from Cayman Iguana, a guide service located in the Cayman Islands. Towards the end of last year, one of my SPI students told me he needed certification to work in the Caribbean, which piqued my interest. As soon as I knew the owner of the guide service was a woman, you can probably guess what happened next. Angel was born and raised in Sao Paulo, Brazil. She left Brazil in 2005 to discover the world and ended up discovering herself. She has climbed around the world and done a lot of high-altitude mountaineering, including in the Himalayas, Andes, and Denali. Angel has traveled through more than 80 countries but found Cayman Brac to be the perfect place to live and enjoy her lifestyle. Since 2013, she has promoted and helped develop rock climbing in the Cayman Islands. She also helped build a nonprofit boulder gym in Grand Cayman where a climbing community started to grow. Angel is an AMGA certified single pitch instructor. One might say Angel is truly living the dream, but I'll say this is a guaranteed result because she has always followed her mind and heart. Now, please enjoy the episode with Angel Robeldo.
Welcome to the Female Guides Requested podcast, and it looked like you are in a swing.
Yeah, I'm in actually a hanging bench made of climbing rope and titanium bolts.
So is it like retired climbing ropes?
Yes, it's a retired climbing rope, so it made into like a swing bench. Let me see it. You can see it.
Oh my God!
And it's a swing,
it's awesome.
and
so
my
relaxing.
my backyard is a climbing wall. Can you see the climbing wall? No.
Whoa! Look at that limestone. Nice.
So yeah. So I wanted to find a way that you could see the background.
Thank you so much.
But then I really like the swing, so I think, and I'm also a yoga teacher, so I teach yoga here. So this is
God! Look at that, yeah. So this podcast is an audio only podcast, so our audience cannot see it. So can you describe to me where you are? Yeah, why are you there and all that, and maybe a little bit self-introduction of yourself.
Okay, well, so my name is Angel, originally from Brazil, and I left home about 2005, and I moved to the Cayman Islands, to Grand Cayman, to the bigger island. Now I am in Cayman Brac, which is one of the smallest islands. The Cayman Islands are 3. So Grand Cayman, Cayman Brac, Little Cayman. And the Cayman Island is very famous for, scuba dive and 5-star hotels and all this kind of thing. So Cayman Brac has world-class rock climbing, but has been just like kind of secret gem. It's not many people know about this place, and it's the quality of the climbing. It's amazing. It's ongoing development for new routes. I have developed many routes here. There is more room for more routes to come. And also there's world-class scuba diving. And that's one of the reasons I live here, because I love the mountains, but I love the oceans as well. So I need to have both, the mountains and the ocean. And I started climbing when I actually left Cayman in 2009. When I was traveling around the world, and then I moved to New Zealand, and the first time in my life I saw snow, which it's late for many people, but I never really liked the cold. So I saw snow for the first time in 2009 and then fall in love with the mountains. And first with like the backpacking and then with the hiking and then like a glacier hiking and then going to rock climbing. And then from New Zealand, I just went straight to the Himalayas. And I started to do more high altitude hiking, more glacier walking and kind of scramble. And then I climbed my
Wait,
first... Yeah.
then those are all sound very cold, right?
Yeah.
Like cold. Yeah, sorry. I was just like, wow, this high altitude is like cold.
They very cold, but so living in New Zealand, I started to adjust myself to colds because one thing, as I used to live in Brazil, then I moved to the Caribbean where the water is so warm when you go swim in the ocean. In New Zealand, no water there is warm beside the hot springs. The ocean is super cold. The lake is freezing cold. The waterfall is cold. So I thought, I get in the water on the cold water or I don't get in the water. So I started from there. So then I acclimatized with the cold. So I started not to dislike the cold. I started to, once you're moving in the cold is fine. I don't think I like to shovel snow out to my door if I'm like living in a place, but it would be nice to be playing in the snow, like you're moving, climbing ice, and all these things are nice. So so this started when 2009, where I dove heads on and all sort of climbing, like all modalities. But my passion was really, I really fell in love with the Himalayas. So I just want to spend lots of time there. So I just learned first mountaineering and then alpine climbing. And I really moved straight to mountaineering and alpine climb right away. Because it's for me, I didn't know what I was getting into it. The innocent little climber that just found it. And I was like getting myself into this big mountain. I'm like, yeah, I've been hiking a lot. They told me just the hiking peak. And just like that, not knowing, crevasse rescue or anything. So that's how I actually got into it. But then I started to get educated myself to learn, crevasse rescue and all the rescue skills necessary for big mountains, and read all about other people, disasters, experiences, and everything they had in the big mountains. And I gave more spice and more challenge to my journey on the mountains. And so then I did it for maybe 3 years, 4 years maybe. My last mountain was Denali in Alaska. And then I got like a herniated disc. I got like a back problem that I couldn't carry heavy packs anymore. So that's when I actually dove into just like sport climbing. Because even tragic climbing, I couldn't carry a rack.
Oh, is that really that serious? Oh my God.
Yes. It was too heavy to carry a rack. The only thing I could carry on my harness was quick draw because it was too painful.
Your harness. I see.
I couldn't carry on a rack. I couldn't carry on my harness. It was really bad. And so then I came back to Cayman. I was coming back and forward. I found Cayman Brac, I think in about 2011 or 12, and absolutely fall in love with this island. But there wasn't any guide servants here, and there was just an island for experienced climbers. The main routes here was 5, 10, 11, and 12s. Very few 7 or 8 here or 9. Very, very few. So like if you're not a 5, 10 climber, you wouldn't find this place a fun place to come climbing. Or if you were a beginner, there wasn't really anywhere to start here because even the easy climb was kind of steep. And when we were taking our friends here, they were like, oh, this is too steep. And I was living on a big island still in Grand Cayman. And then there we start a boulder gym, like indoor climbing gym as a club. So we just, all of us would build, and all of us pay the rent and material and everything. That's how we started. And this was maybe 2012 or 13. And until today, the Cayman Islands doesn't have any climbing gym, just the club that we built by the time. And it's still maintained by members the same way when we started. It's still the same way, like just by members. And when I was at the gym, I decided to get myself certified as SPI, just to be able to teach people like from more like a professional way. Like, I want to like this community to grow, but have some standards in a way of safety, like, like not carry on habits from climber to climber. And I just try to have some standards of safety and have some certification of guidance to be able to guide all the people. So, and then I was teaching really at the gym, just beginners. And when we go to Cayman Brac, it's just for, for friends, really. Friends, and for the gym, I wasn't professional until we actually opened the guide service in Cayman Brac, which was 2016. So it's almost 10 years ago now.
Wow. I have to tell you that before I interview you, I have no knowledge about Cayman Islands. So I have to do some research. And it turns out it's very close to, say, Miami.
Yeah, it's very close to Miami.
Yeah, so like it's in the Caribbean.
Yes,
yeah, 1 hour flight. Yeah. So anyway, so from your journey, I have quite a few questions. So you say you were born and raised in Brazil.
Yeah.
And how was the life there, and how did you decide to travel? And you found mountain climbing in New Zealand, is that right?
Yeah.
So, and then did you also live near the ocean when you were in Brazil? So then you have a love of ocean?
Yes. For me, the culture I grew up with was lots to do with the ocean and the beach. Like lots of beach volleyball. Every weekend we go to the beach. I used to live like an hour from the beach in the city of Sao Paulo where I grew up. But beach was really like growing up with. Not that you go there and just lay down because like all the sports was on the beach, really. Like we do lots of swimming, lots of like volleyball, and a little bit of football and volley, like a mix of football and volleyball, and Brazilian loves that.
I see. And then when you were growing up in Brazil, did you hike? Did you have access to mountains or?
No, in Brazil we don't really have mountains. We have some hills. Outside Sao Paulo, there are some rock. I used to do cliff jumping from a rock. I was never interested to actually climb a rock, and I never really knew about. I didn't know any climbers before. There was like, it wasn't accessible for me. There wasn't like on my circle of friends that climbing was something. I didn't know climbing until actually New Zealand.
Okay, and then what brought you to New Zealand?
Traveling. I was traveling around the world, and then I was actually in Australia. And then I was like doing Europe, Middle East, Asia, Australia, New Zealand. But then when I arrived in New Zealand, I just fell in love with that country so much. And I'm not leaving. So I stay and fell in love with the mountains for the first time. As I say, the first time I saw snow was 2009.
Wow. Okay. Wow. I see. So that's right. You probably never saw snow in Brazil.
No, we don't have snow. That we do get cold in the city. We can get like 0, even like 5 degrees Celsius, which for us 10 degrees Celsius already like freezing cold. We're like, it's too cold.
Tent is kind of cold. Yes,
we get a beanie or a scarf. We get so much layers. It's so cold. So when we go on a holiday, we would never go to somewhere cold. So that's why I was never exposed to snow, because like for me, snow and big mountains was low, cold, and I didn't grow up with that culture of being in the cold.
Yeah, and then so you travel so many countries. So Australia, Europe, and everything. So as your young self, you love to travel. And why you fell in love with New Zealand? What's special about New Zealand?
Oh, New Zealand is just so much. One thing is how remote it is, how you can just be driving alone on the road, how many national parks and how they really look after the nature in New Zealand. The people extremely kind, super kind. It's a very safe country to live to, and the mountains there, they have actually proper mountains. They do have glaciers, and like you think New Zealand has snow. It has proper snow, proper glacier. Like Mount Cook is a very difficult mountain to climb. When I was there, just to hike around the glacier, but it's supposed to be a very difficult mountain. And even the New Zealanders, the climbers from New Zealand, they normally very hardcore, like the very hardcore climbers, because they have a good terrain to train.
I see.
So they do. Like, for example, in the U.S., you guys don't have proper mountains until Alaska. Like Mount Rainier is the only one has a good glacier to actually practice, crevasse rescue. And then you go up to Alaska, you go to Denali, you see those massive crevasses, like, have you been there?
Yeah, I've been to Alaska 3 times. I used to be a mountaineer too, but now I'm a rock climber mostly. Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm also from the hot country. I was from Taiwan originally, so I didn't really like the cold. But just like you, that since I love to climb the mountains, I just thought this is just necessity,
Yeah.
Yeah,
but,
and then
go
ahead.
But one thing very interesting about me is like once I started to climb steep mountains with exposure, I realized that I was terrified of heights. Once I was on a big mountain, I didn't feel like, when you go into a slope in a mountain, it was fine. So once I started to go actually rock climbing, like, a ridge or like a edge, like a ridge. A ridge was like, oh my God, it's terrifying to be on a ridge. So those things, I didn't know I had it. Because I used to go up, cliff jump, and I'm like, and suddenly there was a fear that I wasn't aware. And then I started to rock climbing and started to try to get push. And I realized this is going to hold me back, that fear. And then I don't know where that came from. And that was one of the biggest things why I stick to climb. Because I want to investigate that fear and I want to go over the fear. It's something that will hold you back to do the next move. The fear that kind of freezes you. And I was lost because where did this come from? Like, I don't understand. And also being a woman, like I was getting very strong on my legs for mountaineering, but my upper body was weak. So once you move to rock climbing and try to do hard moves, you realize your upper body is not as strong as your legs. So yeah. So then one of the biggest things for me to guide other people, I love to guide people afraid of heights. That's like my favorite because I know exactly where you are.
So let me repeat that. You found that you didn't like the exposure, like
that
when
was,
you were.
Yes, it was a lot of fear. It's funny because the big mountains, I wasn't afraid as much
Oh, but then when you climb the bigger mountain, you will still work on the ridge line, right? So there's like huge exposure.
The ridge was like the most challenging one. Was definitely the ridge. When you get to the ridge and you get those big exposures next to you. But for me, it was. I think when it was challenging my own skill to be able to actually climb a steep routes and not able to climb and then be exposed. And there was this fear that came. There was this fear came later. It's funny. I don't understand either how that came. But that fear came when I started to go steeper. Like cheaper, more, like on a face, not on the ridge, but actually on a face.
On the face, okay.
Yeah.
And then obviously, maybe overcoming is not the word, but you definitely learn how to deal with it. Otherwise, how can you rock climb?
No,
right now?
I think it's definitely something that I had to face that fear and really like become friend with that fear and just like why is that? I don't even understand why you're here. Like, who are you and what does this fear come from? And then just like go over having the fear and just go for it, having the fear and go for it, having the fear and go for it, and then suddenly there is no more fear.
Oh, okay. I like your metaphor. Treated it as a friend because this friend's always there.
They're always there. It's like, but there is a fear. It's like to me, I think the fear is still there, but it's a fear of to do with my own personality, which is the fear of losing control. So like even when I try, I love on-sighting a route. So on-sighting, I give everything I have. But I still, like, especially on-sighting, I really wanted to make some planning there, make sure I'm precisely on my movement. And if I fall, I know I gave everything I had. But what I don't like, it's like fall without, how do you say that? It's like without control. It's like throw yourself to it. Maybe I'll get it. Boom. So I don't do those movements. I do more movements that like I more precisely. And there is still fear there, especially when you go into something new. I think the fear is always there. And I think that's why we keep doing it.
It's certainly, I like that, sometimes, a lot of time you feel the fear and you just do it. You just do it anyway, right? Yeah. And I remember I saw something. It's like the worst part is to think about what's gonna happen, but when it actually happens, it's not as scary. Yeah. And so during your years of traveling days, that you have already been to Cayman Islands, right? Yeah. And what was your first impression about that?
So when I first came, so I moved straight here in 2005. That's the first time I came.
Okay. Yes.
I already came to live here because back home, my dream was actually to live in a Caribbean island.
Okay.
My dream. It was like I wanted to live in a Caribbean island, but of course, after getting into climbing, my heart was divided because I want to be where the climbing is and in the mountains. But then once I stay longer in New Zealand in the mountains and I live in a mountain town, a small town, which is beautiful, I realized actually I love the ocean. So how can I get both, like somewhere I can climb. And after have the injury, dedicated my time more to rock climbing and have an opportunity to have this virgin island where there's not many people here. There's always just quietness. There's so much to explore and to open new routes. So it's like it, then there was another beauty there to just go to a virgin cliff and explore the cliff. Just like, wow, this can be a good route to here. Let's put a rope and see. And then I had summers. I was here in the summer, so hot. It was like hanging on a cliff until in the evening, like cleaning the routes. And my friends was worried. They were like, Angel, I passed by 10 o'clock. I saw a headlamp in the middle of the cliff. It was a little light. So like, yeah, that was me. I was cleaning a route.
Wow. So you always have this dream to live in Caribbean. Good.
I had this dream, yeah,
okay.
when I was younger.
And wow, okay. And then somehow you found mountaineering. So
yes.
that distract you from your living in the Caribbean dream for a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. And then because you enjoy it, then you start sport climbing.
Yes, yeah.
And then back, did you think that, wow, then I can, so when you have the injury, did you think that's, wow, I can actually combine sport climbing and Caribbean dream back?
Yes, yeah.
Okay,
yes,
I see.
Yeah.
Whoa, okay.
Yeah.
I have a question for you. I mean, it's a very romantic notion and life. And I think if I am maybe at least 10 years younger, then I can understand. Well, I do admire you, and I was just like, wow, that's a cool life. But now I'm a little bit older. I start to think more about making a living, Yeah. So I'm curious because I did some research about Cayman Islands. I found that it's a huge place for financial services.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like a bank and
tax-free heaven. Yeah.
Right. So it seems like that's the biggest economy, right?
Yes.
And then maybe the second biggest is the tourism.
Yes, exactly. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm also curious about the living costs there. So you start a guide service, the Rock Iguana.
Yeah.
And I like the name because I also did some research that it's actually a lizard.
Yeah.
In the Caribbean island, iguana.
It's called Rock Iguana. Yeah.
It's beautiful.
There's a type that it's only here in Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. And in Grand Cayman, a bigger island, that's the blue iguana. So the Rock Iguana, it is the type here we get here in Cayman Brac.
Right.
That's our iguana. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So how many of your clients are, say, local and how many are like tourists? Do you do any like promotion outside of the island to target tourists or stuff like that?
So the company itself started very organically. Our goal was 3 of us, very passionate about climbing, and we all like climb buddies. And we started not as a business purpose. We started as just to grow the community and make it a safe community that learn from, people who are certified, and it created some standards here in Cayman. As you grow a community that is safety first here. So we didn't think about much if the company will make money or not. We just started. So when you say about like we get older, started to thinking about making a living. I think the living make you. You don't make a living. Like you make the living make you love what you do every day. And money will come. It's like I never had to worry about that. And I've been in many situations with the law money, broke, like up and down, I don't really care. Like I keep doing what I love and what drives me and what makes me feel very alive. And Rock Iguana still drives me. And we do have, as you ask, or a clientele comes from. In the beginning, it was a lot locals, a lot of people from Grand Cayman who residents there know exactly Caymanians, like from the Cayman, but expats that lives there. Some Caymanians, there is lots of expats living in the Cayman Islands. So like half of the population in Grand Cayman is from overseas. So we get people from all over the world in Cayman. It's very beautiful to live in a place with so much diversity. And so then in the beginning, we got a lot of people from Grand Cayman, the big island, to come down here on the weekends and do courses with us, like Instructor rock climbing and the lead climbing. And then we take it just like a half-day climbing, like a top rope climbing. We provide private guiding as well for people who are already climbers. They just visiting the island, for example, with their wife that doesn't climb, so that they can climb with us. We have many tourists that are just looking for an adventure. So we do this little, via Ferrara, rappel, a little rock climbing, just like an adventure out that we created. So we started to the business created itself for the people. What are they asking for, So in the beginning, it was really to teach, to create a community to climbers to become climbers. And not need us anymore. I just wanted you to be independent. You become a lead climber, come here, get your rope. And then now I would say it's mixed. We still have the community in Grand Cayman that is still doing courses with us, especially like lead climb course, which I really like when the people from the gym comes here and ask her for lead climb course, because leading a climbing route, it's not as simple as just clip, quick draw. There's so many mistakes that can lead it to head on a rock, upside down. There's so many things that can go wrong if you don't learn it properly. And it's most of the time, if you climb with a friend that teaches you how to clip the bolts, they're not gonna go with those details with you. They probably, everybody just wanna climb. It's not because it's just a lack of time. You go to the crag, you want to climb. Or you want to try lead, you just clip the bolts. That's it, if he's your friend. But if you go to a course, that's why I always tell my students when they started climbing, they first learn to do a figure of 8 now and try to belay. And I say, when you do your lead climb course, do a proper course with somebody certified, somebody experienced, and to learn it properly, because it's very hard to take those habits. Some people climb for 10 years with some bad habits, they still have it. And it's so hard to take it out. And also they probably has no awareness there is a habit there or they're doing something wrong, And like, you don't want to be the guide around the crag, but we see it. I climb all over the world. I travel every year so much. I climb in so many places around the world, and I see so many sketchy things going on all the time, and you see that probably more than I do. And it's just it's your life, man. At the end of the day, like, find a guide and learn it properly, especially tragic climb, traditional climb. You shouldn't just get a can and play around a crag. Like, let me see how to place this, and then a friend tell you how to do it, and then you think you're a tragic climber. I like, no, go take some courses, take it like a proper training on trads. It's not like that. I travel a lot alone. I climb with a lot of people that I meet on the roads, and I meet some sketchy climbers, like, I'm like, wow, I just gonna climb easy today.
Definitely. Yeah, that's kind of shared experience for a lot of climbers. Yes.
And some people, they want to be cheap, they're like, I'm learning from a friend, and then I don't pay a guide to teach me how to do it. And I'm like, don't be cheap on that, pay your guide and cheap your guide too.
Yeah, I always say the proper education might be costly at that moment, but it's actually much cheaper for the long run because you learn things correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I like
cheaper.
that.
Much cheaper than a hospital bill.
That is true. So yeah, then I now I get it now. because I think this all stem from my not understanding of Cayman Islands. So you start with 2 other passionate friends.
Yes, yeah,
And
yeah.
are they still there working with
Yes, yes. One is still on the island. The other one's kind of traveling around. And as we did it for the passion, we sometimes don't take it as a business. I'm also a yoga teacher, so I teach yoga here and I travel a lot. So, but it is a business.
It's like, it seems kind of very relaxed. So what's the, do you have a peak season? Is that
Yeah, we
winter
do.
time,
Yeah,
right?
we do. Yeah, we do. Like Byron, who you teach, he came here work with me. So right now we are in a peak season.
I see.
And then sometimes we do have big groups going out, and we do have like guides. Like, for example, my business partner, he lives on a big island. So if I do have big groups, I can ask him to come help me because he also has his whole business back there. So it's more flexible for him to come help me if I need it. And then a high season, I always try to have more help here, not just me. And sometimes we have 2 or 3 people working. Right now we are 3, but 2 rock climbing guides and 2 yoga teachers. And then in the summer it's very slow. The summer also is very hot, so the condition is not the greatest for climbing. But for example, June, July, August, the summer is school summer holidays too. So we do have a lot of family that comes down, but they're not really climbers. They're really looking for an adventure out. So does work out a little adventure tours that we have a rappel inside a cave, rock climbing. So we created many different locations for our tours to just like everybody can have fun and enjoy Cayman Brac. Which is like an amazing island. Like it's remote, it's still very raw, and you see birds all the time here. You know, it's so raw. It's so raw. It's very, very pristine. The nature is still very pristine. So we did also start a conservation project here. The other one I sent to you, which is one of the goals, the conservation projects, to protect some of the approach of the climbing walls. Because a lot of the climbing, you have to cross private property to get into the climbing. So the climbing itself doesn't belong to anybody. So like just, it's the king now, the bluff. So the bluff, you can be on the bluff. The bluff doesn't belong, for example, my property here. I don't own the bluff. I own the approach. To get to the bluff, I also, if somebody want to cross my property to go, I can say no. Like, it's private property. But if you want to get there somehow, and then you have to cross somebody else's property. So that's why this project is more like, like access funds kind of thing, that we protect the access. So we buy some lands that has climbing on the backyard. So we did that in 2020. It was the first land that we found a nice wall, and then we developed the rock climbing there, and there's a protected area now. So that wall will always have access to it.
So you're saying that all the cliffs, those are public lands, right? Cliffs.
No, they all private. They all private lands.
Okay, I see.
Yeah.
Originally, I thought you said the access to the cliff is still private land, but even the cliffs are private.
No, the cliff is not private. The cliff is belong to the king. It's like it's government. Like it's the cliff itself. But to get it to the cliff,
I see. So if somehow you can get to the cliff, anybody can climb at the cliff.
Yes, yeah.
But you need
can
to
climb
find
the cliff. A way to get it. Yeah.
You need to figure out the access. Yeah.
Right now we do have access, like because there is not many climbers here, and all the owners buy a climbing crag. They like let us go like through the land. There is like, we don't have any problems right now, but looking up in the future, we wanted to secure those lands to be a place to climb. Even if, change owners, the land sells and and then you can lose the access to it. So right. This is one of the goals that we had for the conservation project. And the other one is actually just to really protect as much as we can on this island. To be
right, because there's a lot of natural resources, right?
Oh my God,
yeah.
so beautiful.
I mean,
yeah,
you mentioned the scuba diving is great, and then the birding
lots of birds, lots of caves.
Caves, okay.
The limestone makes a lot of caves. Also, there is some hiking trails. It's very, very. The nature is very beautiful, and the bluff itself. If you look into a picture of the bluff itself, it's just 140 feet cliff that goes all along, and there's a part that goes just by the sea, like about 2 miles, 140 foot, about 2 miles of cliff just over the water, and that is where we climb those places through rappel. So we have to get to the top and then we rappel down first, and then we can climb the route. So we rappel, bring our leading rope, and then we climb the route. So those ones, super stunning climbing here. It's really amazing.
I see. So some of the route you have to rappel into.
Yeah.
So there's no ground access.
No. And then we have... Yeah, the only way out is climbing up when you rappel down. So, but then you have a fixed line, and we just suggest everybody just to leave your rappel line fixed there, just in case if something happening on the route. So there is sometimes the routes are slime or wet, and then you rappel to something hard to climb that it's not possible to climb when it's slime, or so you might have to climb a rope.
Right. And is the tides affect the climb? So would that be say high tide and
there is... I don't think we have much of high tide, low tide. We have calm seas and rough seas.
Okay.
So when it's calm, that's fine. You climbing very close to the water. But then when it's rough, very windy and wavy, your belay can get splashes. You'll be laying there, and you go shoo, woo.
Right, it's cool. Then, can you describe a little about the climbing overall picture there?
Yeah. So one of the most beautiful walls, we do have lots of tufas and stalactites, like Thailand, Kalimnos. Lots of underclings, lots of hidden holes that turn into underclings. And so if you're not familiar with underclings, you're gonna have a hard time here, because a lot of things is it's your whole pulse tube and then turn into undercling, and then your feet way high, and then again on the hole. So lots of those, which what makes also very special is just to be climbing right by the ocean. And the limestone, my favorite walls here would be the wave wall, which is very, very close to the ocean. And the wall itself is sort of wave. There's a great name for it because it's overhang sort of wall, nice tall roots. And the ones you rappel down, they're very stunning. The very first time I came to Cayman Brac, I went there on my very first trip and I thought, wow, what is that? You're in the middle of nowhere. You rappel down, you're on your own. Feels like in the mountains. That's the closest you can feel the feeling of being in the mountains alone, like you are on your own. I love that, and that feeling you have when you go to the point where you rappel down from the cliff, and it's super, super cool. Yeah.
And are most of clients single pitch? And
yeah, most of them are single pitch. There's a couple rounds that we do as 2 pitches. Most for rope drag, because of the length of the climb. So they the the tallest climb is really at the point when we rappel them, which can be like 100, almost 140, 130, because some of them goes almost to the ocean. You're like so close to the ocean, and you're very close. And the cliff is 140. So those ones will be the tallest one.
And then how many climbs are there?
How many climbs? So many routes, climbing routes. So right now, I would say we have about 150.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's not massive. There is possibility for way more. There's a lot of virgin cliffs over here, which you have to approach through kind of the jungle. The path needs to be open still. It's or you go along the bluff, the cliff itself. So some of the walls I have explored that way. And even at the point when we rappel down, there is also more options for more climbs. And some of the walls that we already developed as well, there's option for more climbs as well. So there is potential for more, for sure. Yeah. But I don't know if you ever bought routes. Have you?
Only I put some boats when I do like alpine first ascent, but I never bought sport routes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh no, yeah. Boating and sport round is a lot of work.
Yes.
as easier the routes, it's harder because it's more cleaning. The cheaper routes are easier because it's not much to clean. The easy routes that we open a lot for the beginners here on the beginning of the company to make accessible for people to be a place to learn. And I think you need to be really on that fire. I'm on a fire to bolt routes, and
right.
You have the inner fire to do, and then you do it, and it's so much work, but you love it. And now I look like, oh no, I'm not bolting anything just here.
And over there, because it's right next to the ocean, kind of have to use
titanium.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. And I see. So how do you? So you say you are also a yoga teacher.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Do you teach yoga class separately, or you combine it with your climbing guiding?
So I do some weekends retreats that I combine the climbing yoga, and it's super fun. Sometimes we get just yogis interested in climbing, some climbers interested in yoga. So and it's very nice. But I do have a community of yogis here that's separated from the climbing. So, and it's surprisingly, I would think, when I started offering yoga, I would think climbers would, oh my God, this yoga on that little island. I'm going to go for it. And I see climbers come and go and never come to a yoga class. And I wonder, if it was me, I would be so happy to have a little yoga after climbing. Yeah, but we don't really have many climbers that come to visit the island and come to the yoga class. Most of the climbers that come to yoga class are climbers that people that we know, that people come from Grand Cayman or friends that been visiting the island, so they come and join the class. But all the climbers that see come and go, they don't come to a class, and even they have just restorative yoga. It's just floor under the stars. It's like almost a self massage you do yourself. If I was a climber, I wanted one of those.
Well, actually, I think all the major gyms in United States, they offer yoga classes. Yeah. So definitely a lot of climbers are.
Yeah, because they go so well together. It's one thing would be to gain more flexibility, but the other thing is to really relax the muscles that you work all day. And then at the end of the day, you do a class to relax the muscles. It's like a big stretch, big time, not just the little stretch. So, yeah, I think it'll come. I think with time will be more climbers. We don't have that many climbers visit the island every year. It's still a very remote place. And also because it is an expensive island, you ask about like what the cost of living here, it's not a cheap island. To start with, the Cayman dollar is 20% more than the US dollars. So when you go to a grocery shopping, everywhere except US dollars and Cayman dollar here, but then your $100 bill, it's like $80 Cayman dollars, you know, and then you go shopping, things here are expensive because everything comes on a boat, our food supplies, you know. And also climbing supplies. Whenever we need some climbing supplies, we mainly get our gear from Black Diamond, but then we need to ship from the Utah to Florida, and from Florida come on a boat. The boat goes to Grand Cayman first, to the Big Island, and then comes to us.
Right.
So it's long away.
And so Cayman Islands have 3 islands, right?
Yeah.
Is it only Cayman Brac has climbing, or
yes,
they're also climbing? Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah.
And so let's talk a little bit about, so you were talking about the coast to bluff recreational access and conservation.
Yeah.
Right. And then you start that originally you want to promote and preserve the access to the club.
This is one of the goals of the project. Okay. It's mainly to protect it, but make accessible for people to go. It's like turning to parks. Either if it's just like a walking park, or access to the ocean, or access to the bluff. It's just like keeping, but mainly because the government doesn't really have access lots to the bluff. So for example, if everybody builds a house one next to the other on the bluff side, we completely lose the access, because then you have to go through people's houses to get access to the bluff. The ocean is different. The government has some strips of access to the ocean between lots of private property, and the bluff doesn't really have that. So, but right now there is a lot empty lots that people has the property but hasn't built anything on it. So it's very easy to get to the bluff right now. But if you look in the future, you know, let's say maybe 10 or 20 years, do we still gonna have access to it? You know, like let's say maybe 20 years from now. So the Coast to Bluff was a project that was 3 of us as well. One of them also started Rock Iguana with me, and he was the first one to say, you know, we need to protect the access to the bluff, because he climbs, but he loves also explore caves. You know, he goes into these little holes in the bluff and explore, and he'd say, we need to protect this, and to be able to people be able to access that, and then we don't lose the access.
And at the current stage, do you have to pass private properties to access clubs?
Yes, the current, lots of the climbing cross private property.
And what are their attitude right now? They say, okay, you can do that, or they don't like that?
No, they're fine. Like most of the people fine with that. Like even one of the most famous wall here, we call Dixon's Wall, which Dixon's is the name of the man who lives in a house right by the cliff. And he was so supportive. He said, climate's so good for the Brac. Bring tourists here. I support it. I'm a welcome of them here. And
nice.
He was really amazing. He passed away just the year after COVID, or I think it's like right around COVID area time. But his family is still supporting as well, so they still letting us go through the property, which he has like a big property, family property, right by this wall, Jackson's Wall, which is one of the like most amazing wall here in the Brac.
Most your clients, like new clients, or you start to accumulate return clients?
Good question. So we have a mix. Currently, we have one of a lifetime experience, never climbed before. We do have a lot of people never climbed before, and they go one day with us. Next thing they do a course. Next thing they become a climber, which is lovely to see that too. We do have climbers that just come here and look for somebody to maybe just set up the ropes. They gym climbers, or they don't like leads anymore. We do have people also kind of like almost retire, and they're like still climbing for many years, but don't lead outdoors anymore. So then they just ask us to go and lead to the climbs that they want to climb. So we do get a lot of private guiding in a way that we're just setting up ropes. And this can be just a person, just one come by themselves, or could be a whole family. We do have lots of family, which is beautiful. Come like mom and dad and the 2 kids or something, a whole family for experience. So a whole family, they're already climbers as well. But also we do have a lot of people that are gym climbers. Like they are climbing the gym but never climb outdoors. So they come here for like the first outdoor experience.
You said the business has been 10 years now?
Yeah, I would say almost 10. We're probably 9 years now. Like, let me see, 16 we started, 17 we really started guided. The company started 16. I think 17 we started guide fully. And then we had the guide work for us. We just had our jobs and doing our things. But then 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 25. Yeah, this will be the 8th year of the company.
Wow. That's a long time already.
Yeah. And I started to fully dedicate it to the company, I think middle of 2019, I fully started dedicated to the company. Before I had other things going on, and then I'm like, I'm full on now.
What are the milestones for your company?
We had the first year, which let's say 2017, we fully started guiding. In 2017, we have a lot locals. In 2018, we started to open for outside, like tourists. And it started to really reach into the tourism industry, even for people that come to the Big Island and they would fly here just for a day. And we started to offer a day adventure tour for them. That would go rappel into cave, rock climbing by the ocean, like a full day. And then we started to have industrial markets. And then 2019, it started to really grow. And we're like, oh my God, the best year is going to be 2020. And we were getting ready for the biggest year of Rock Iguana. And the COVID came and lockdowns, everything. But then it was funny because then we closed it for 3 months. And then great. The island's completely empty. It's locked down. The island stay closed for 1 year for tourists. But the island was, after 3 months, they got COVID to 0. There was a COVID-free island. And then people, if they want to leave the Cayman Islands, they will have to quarantine for 2 weeks because they're coming back to a COVID-free island. So what happened to us? Everybody from the Big Island, Grand Cayman, started to come to the sister islands to visit as a tourist. People that never been here before. And what do you have to do in the Brac besides diving is just climbing. So we got the best year of business just in COVID. which a lot of people struggle. We just, sometimes it was 4 of us working, big groups, like every day, 20 people, like school break. And after a year, that was the only year in Rock Iguana history that we work the entire year, no stop. After that, want to quit. Like, I'm done. I'm done. Just too much. And that was actually the biggest year. So after that, I came back slowly. I don't want to promote anymore because I don't want any more business. I'm good. I think whatever we are is good. It's good. We're not going to get bigger, but this is good. I don't want to get any bigger than this. This is good. And also, to be honest with you, like when you own a guiding company, when it's just you working, it's way easier because you just have to manage you. When it started to get big, and then you have other employees, it's just like, sometimes it's like way more work and no more money, to be honest. Sometimes you think, yeah, that's a lot more work. Yeah, and not much money really. It's just taking more people climbing, but you're paying more, more bills to pay as well.
That's true. Yes. So you kind of have to find that balance.
Yeah.
That enough is enough. This is what I want.
Yes, exactly.
Right. Especially, I assume that you go there. Of course, you need to support yourself, but you're not going there to say open a corporation or something, right? You go there to live.
Yeah. And then in the end, the end of the day, you're doing what you love, and you don't want to spoil that. I had times during Rock Iguana that all I did was working, bolting routes and taking people climbing, and I know the best holds on a 5-6.
Yes.
Something I would never know for myself. And now I know all those 5-6, 5-7 here. I know exactly where the best hole is. And you learn that. And now and you wanted to go on your projects. You also want to be a strong climber. You want to also progress. And sometimes, they say you owe a business and then the business owes you. You think you owe the business, but the other way around, the business owe you. So I did have years, especially after the COVID year where we worked so much. I didn't want any employees for the entire year. I didn't want to work more than 4 days a week. I 3 times a week guiding, 3 times or 4 teaching yoga, enough. I just don't want to. And there was a moment which I had to say no. I was like, do you have any availability? No, we have no availability. I'm go diving.
Nice.
And
yeah.
You have to take those decisions. It's you're losing business and you work hard together to have those customers. Yeah, but you don't want to end up selling yourself.
That's
and
right.
Again, you still want to love what you do. You don't want to be a job. At the end of the day, it is a job, but it's not an office job. So you should remain on that loving and loving. And I love this island so much that every time I take people climb, I go, oh my God, it's so beautiful. And I have taken the same pictures thousands of times. Especially the end of the day when the sun sets, the sky go pink, and it's so beautiful. And you go, wow, it's amazing to call just my office,
Yeah.
And
that's right. I mean, you kind of have to reach the balance inside. Right now, your business is stable.
Yeah.
Then you need to think about,
Yeah. I think once it's just to stay with like the way we are, we survive and we can make more money, yes, but that's way more work. Making more money takes more work, more time, more effort, more risk. Sometimes you have more business, but no more money. That is like, and sometimes you have less business and more money. You know, that's risky. That's risky,
Yes.
especially on this island. It's very unstable with the business. Sometimes you think, oh, this is a slow season, October, nothing going on, and then you get the whole week fully booked, and you're like, what? And then like you might get 2 weeks and nobody comes, and you have to dance with the flow, whatever comes.
Right. And you mentioned that you really enjoying taking people who are really afraid of heights.
Yeah.
To overcome the fear. And what else do you like about taking people out?
I like the challenge of stepping out of the comfortable zone, because most of the people wanted to have control. I love also when I take a group of guys, big guys, like 5, and that's me guiding. And then I love like how they watch me every step setting up ropes. And then I remember one day I turned up to this guy was watching me every step. And then I look at him and say, "Are you afraid? Are you scared?" And I say, "No, because I see you know exactly what you're doing." And I'm like, "Okay, great." But then it's like I do like to see men which are on the very masculine, they're very, very like strong men, to be afraid of heights or to be afraid of losing control. And when they are on a climb or on a rappel, and it's actually just beautiful to see, you know, because we all have that. Like, it's not because they are like, you know, just masculine figure and strong, they'll be better than a woman on a group, you know, like that it's not as strong. And they realize some women are skinny, you know, not very strong, no muscular like them, and they gracefully goes up on a wall without having any experience before. And it's very beautiful to see that too. And then they find out, it's like, well, rock climbing is not about being muscular. And I say, no, it's not. It's about breathing. It's kind of, I always say, it's a yoga on the wall, really. Because climbing is more on the head than it is on the body. What is stopping you? It's here. It's not here. It's on the head. It's on the muscles.
That's right.
Most of the time, what stop all of us, doesn't matter if you are on a female body or on a masculine body, all stop us is on their heads, on their mind. And that's what it's one of my favorite parts of the climbing, really, is the mind training.
So you mentioned you always want to live in the Caribbean. Now you live in Caribbean for many, many years. Does it fit your expectation or beyond your expectation?
I think I travel a lot every year. So my goal is to be here really 6 to 8 months every year and traveling the rest. And I also love motorcycling. So I have a motorbike in Europe. The last 2 years I've been doing lots of riding in the mountains, like in the Alps, and riding and climbing is kind of fun. You just go from mountain to mountain, find some community here and there and climb together. So it's been really fun. I think if I didn't travel so much, I wouldn't appreciate this place as much as I do. It's very, very small. 2,000 people lives on the island. We don't really have like a climbing community here, that I find when I travel. Sometimes I travel to places that like I never want to leave. Such a beautiful climbing community that's like partners all the time. But the most climbers, the community itself is actually on a big island, because this island where I live, the Brac, doesn't really have much industry for anybody here to work. It's very remote. So most of our climbing community is in Grand Cayman. And we just had the Breakfast Festival, which we do every January to bring the community together. And it's very, very beautiful to see our community together. And every year, people, because it used to be my community when I used to climb there. I used to live also in Grand Cayman and come here for climbing. Now I'm here full time and they come here for climbing and I'm already here. But it's beautiful to see that. But it's not like you have many climb partners. A lot of time when I'm here alone, I do some top rope soloing, where you rappel down to climb. And sometimes I wish we had a little bit more resident climbers who lives here full time, who could go climbing. Oh, let's go climb on a Tuesday. Let's go climb on Thursday, or let's work on a project together, because projecting is something that you're not gonna get your weekend friend come down to belay on your project. You're like no, you're not gonna do that to him.
So most people live in Grand
Cayman. Yeah.
Okay. But there's still infrastructure to support daily life in Cayman Brac, right?
Oh, yes. There is a hospital, there is a school, there is groceries. There is a lot of people who live in the Brac because it's so special, who are retired or partially retired. They live the summer here. Oh, sorry, the winter. A lot of people from the US and from Canada who has house here. So they live partially here, which would be my ultimate goal as well, to be just the winter. And the summer, like be in the mountains. I love multi-pitches, like all day on the wall. That's still my favorite.
Right now, you also travel mostly in summer, I guess.
Yeah, I do. I mainly like 3 to 4 months I travel.
Right,
So
because
like
that's
overseas.
also low season is hot.
Oh my God, yes. It's so hot, yeah.
I mean, even I look at your winter temperature, I feel hot to me.
Oh, yeah.
So right now, so as we are doing this interview, it's early February.
Yeah.
What's the average temperature right now?
So I don't know in Fahrenheit, but in Celsius, right now must be about 28, I think, Celsius.
28, whoa.
Yeah. But we do have a good breeze. 28. So it's nice when we get to 25. I really like 25. 25 is like, yeah, really like 25, good breeze. In the evening it can drop sometimes, but our winter is not like 10, 15 or 20. It's really like anything from 22 to 25 will be the perfect weather, really. Like when we get very strong winds and the temperature is about like 20-ish, no more than 25, and that's perfect. That's really good. The summer is really good for scuba dive. For some reason, there is more sharks. The water temperature is amazing. You go like in a swimming suit. You don't need a wetsuit or anything. So if I'm here summer, and this summer I think I'm gonna be here more than I normally do. So I'm gonna do lots of scuba dive. That's what I'm gonna do.
Nice. I might almost sold, even though it's still a little bit hot. But I'm curious. The one last thing I would like to ask is like, how's the bug situation?
How's the what?
The bugs. Like
no much.
No bugs?
That's what makes this place amazing. We don't really have much problems with bugs.
Ooh, then
that is kind of control. Yeah, that's kind of control. The island had a lot of trouble in the past with bugs, but they had a whole mosquito center research that they did lots of spray on the island and they control the bugs. And right now, I think it maybe last year at some point, but this year has been no problem. Normally, like between sunrise or sunsets, we get some bugs, but right now I'm like outside the whole time. Like where I am right now, my porch, I work from here. I got like after this call, I'm gonna get my computer outside and I'm gonna be here with a nice breeze outside and no bugs. That's it. Watching the cliff, the climb as I work in the computer. Just sometimes you're almost gonna cry, right? But there's another thing about having your own company, your own business. There is days that you spend on a computer all day. And people think, yeah, you have the life. You just climb and do yoga. Like, yeah, besides the days on the computer, right?
Nice. Cool. Wow. So any plans in the next few years in the future? Do you envision yourself stay here for quite a long time to come?
In Cayman Brac?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you mean, yeah. I feel this place more home than any other place on earth right now. And I do love Europe. So I have plans to have a home base there as well, but be partially here, partially in Europe. But here it's so magical. It's getting like all your passion all together in the same place in a way that you do have a lot of space. Where I live, I have no neighbors, so it's such a unique place to be right now. Like, be just right. I'm between the ocean and the cliff. Like, I can just, in front of my house, I can get my harness and climb, or I can just go in front of my house and go diving. So it's really a sweet spot. It's a very sweet spot, and I think if I spend even like 6 months of the year here, I will love it even more. Because right now I spend about 8 months of the year, sometimes 9 months. Maybe this year I'll be 3 months away only. And when I tell people about this, I say, "Oh no, this year I'm probably just gonna go 3 months away." 3 months away. Like, people like, we get 2 weeks holiday every year. We only go 2 weeks. And you go 3 months only. Yeah, but I used to go for a whole year and a half. So it's very unique to build this sort of life and have the flexibility to have your own company, your own business, and just like when I go, I normally have someone working here.
Okay.
So, yeah, the company doesn't really shut down. Last year we did in September, but this year I might do for 2 months. I think mid-August until mid-October, which is September, super hot, rainy, hurricane season. August and September, I think the 2 months is really painful hot. You sweating before doing anything. Just being sitting, you're sweating. It's like the humidity is very high. So if you are a climber, you definitely don't want to be here in the summer. But if you are a scuba diver, oh yes. And if people who are scuba diver and then want to go on an adventure, that's when we get business, It's not from climbers, but they just want to go rappel and do a 5-6, something to try on. That's like once of a lifetime, or just be like return guests as well who are scuba divers and come here and climb with us.
I see.
So we do have those as well, but the main activity is the diving. Like, they do diving,
right?
And they come, climb with us. In the summer, nobody will have a main activity that are climbing here. That would be so wrong.
That's right. That's why I also I live in Vegas, so I say don't come here climbing in the summer.
Yeah.
Yes.
But do you live full time in Vegas now?
I live in full time in Vegas, yes, but I do also travel sometimes in summer. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we do have a high altitude sport climbing here, so you can still climb in summer. It's just really hot in the city. Yes.
Yeah,
mm-hmm. Yeah. Cool. Well, it's so nice talking with you, and
thank you.
I learned quite a few things of too. I admire your passion. It seems like you love traveling. You just love living the life and figure out a way to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I hope I will find some time to visit you. I mean, right now the winter is almost over here. I'm gonna start working pretty soon. Who knows? Maybe next winter.
Yeah, why not? Maybe come guide for us here, and then I can go away. Then I go away for the winter too.
Yeah, I can do a little guiding and then probably support myself personal climbing there.
Yeah, for sure. Cool. I think one thing I wanted to do is having some other guides to come here and do more like a holiday guiding. You know, you have a free accommodation. You get paid for whatever guide you do. You might guide a lot, you might not, because we never know how much guiding you get. But you get like a little bit of a holiday. You got, because it's an expensive island, as I say. If you wanted to pay a place to stay here as a tourist, you don't find anything for less than, I think, $150, $200 a night,
Oh my God, that's kind of expensive.
Yes.
Yeah, so I might arrange a holiday guiding with you because I think one. Yes.
I think it just could be a good exchange, a holiday guiding. You get your free accommodation, and then you guide whenever we need it, and then when you're not guiding, climbing. Holiday guiding, I like that. Maybe I created that.
That's a great idea, right? Especially you were saying the lodging is pretty expensive. It is, though, when you mention the number. I think that's a cool idea. So you are also very business mind. You have a business mind.
Yeah, I do. My mind is always come like with angels, because it's nice to have some other guides visiting. It's not like, for example, in May, I'm going to sell my motorcycle. So I'm going to actually go to Europe in May. So I'm talking to Byron. Byron, you're going to stay? He like, depends how hot it's getting. I'm like, okay, so I need to get somebody to come in here in May then. Sometimes we just might need you just for a whole month, or month and a half or so. So a holiday guide, and I mean, you might not make money, but you get a holiday.
Cool. Yeah.
Nice. That's good. I like that. I'm gonna advertise that holiday guiding.
Certainly, I think people will get attracted. I mean, especially as me, I've never visited Caribbean.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, you love that. You love it. And our guide, especially on a summer, so our half-day guiding here is about 3 hours round trip. You meet, guide, come back. There's a 3 hours. We don't do much of full days anymore. We sometimes do in the winter when people come from the big island here, but mostly we do half days. So it's pretty late. It's a laid back guiding. Like even the day you
guiding. I like laid back guiding.
Even the day guiding, you still climbing if you want. You climb in the morning, guide in the afternoon, or go scuba dive in the morning, guiding in the afternoon. That's definitely it's a holiday guiding. Yeah, I'm gonna use the name to attract other guides.
Nice. I'll definitely include this in the podcast. I pick out the idea and then contact you.
Yeah. I think it's please do it. And email me for holiday guiding.
Nice.
Yeah, it's definitely a good holiday place. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much, Angel, for being on this podcast. I bet we will definitely keep in contact. And who knows? Maybe next winter I'll have holiday guiding.